All right, Nicholas, let's start first of all for the fans. How do we pronounce your name? Let's set the record straight.
Oh, man. If this literally sets the record straight, I will pay you. I'll pay you guys. I don't want to tell you how much I'll pay you, but I'll see how much it's worth. Nicholas D'Augusto is how I was raised saying it. But, you know, if you were saying it like in the old country, you'd say D'Agosto.
French.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Very French.
Let's talk a little bit about your character. First of all, playing a villain in a DC comic, dream come true or tons of pressure because of the fans?
No, dream come true. I mean, first of all, I'm not quite a villain yet, which is actually one of the exciting things about my character. You know, I mean, it's absolutely a dream come true. I mean, there's always going to be criticism, but the thing is you know, if there isn't criticism, then that means there's silence, and if there's total silence, then that means people aren't watching. So if the fans are at least staying in it long enough to talk about what they love and what they don't love about a show, then that means they love enough to stay with it. And as someone that is a fan of comics, of graphic novels, of fantasy and sci-fi, I just want people to stay in it as long as they can. And I'll say, you know, I grew up loving Lord of the Rings with my friends, and you know, when we went in to see the movies, I remember us sitting down at the bar. We had a drink. It was totally silent. And my friend went, okay, I think we can all admit that was great. Now let's talk about what we hated about it. And you know, if people can have fun doing things like that, then I think we're doing a good thing. You're
playing Harvey Dent. You're not yet Two-Face.
Right.
You have big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Have you seen the other two actors, Aaron Eckhart and Tommy Lee Jones? And did you talk to them, get any advice from them? No, well, I mean, I don't really get to call Tommy Lee Jones on the phone, but but Aaron Eckhart and I drink all the time together. No, it's they're big shoes to fill. But the truth be told, like I don't really think of it that way. You know, I mean, I'm excited about the challenge. You know, I don't look at it. I don't think any actor wants to go into something being afraid. You know, I'm excited, and I think that, and I feel like you know, I feel very comfortable in the fit, and I'm glad that they feel like I'm, you know, the right fit for the part, and. You know, it's just exciting. As far as like taking things from other people's characters and performances, I did look at Aaron Eckhart's stuff. I didn't actually go back to Tommy Lee is a different person, but Tommy Lee Jones's stuff because partly because I had very little time to prepare. To be honest with you, all this happened within like a 7-day period. From the time that I went out for the part and the time I was shooting, it was very truncated. So I looked at Aaron Eckhart's stuff, but the main thing is. I find when I watch other people's performances, if I try to be too much like somebody else, then I'm not doing what's required of me on the page. You know, there are certain things that are consistent in Harvey Dent all throughout comics and movies, but the main thing is I have to do the role that's in front of me, and I was able to sort of, I think, pull from different aspects and put together something that, you know, I hope that the fans are excited about. How long can we expect before Harvey Dent turns into Two-Face? What are we looking at? Man, I wish I knew the answer to that. I can't imagine. I mean, the thing is truthfully, I don't even know if it'll happen. I mean, I would be surprised if it didn't. You know, we all hope that the show runs for a very long time. I certainly hope the show runs for a very long time. But I think at earliest, you know, would be a couple of seasons. I mean, they would have to establish a long time of Harvey Dent being there. And I think there's a lot of fun in having Harvey being an ally with Jim Gordon for a long time. There are so many other villains in this world. There's something to be said about having, although someone who's not as pure of heart as Jim Gordon, you know, my Harvey Dent is a bit more of a political animal and willing to make compromises, but he's no doubt someone fighting for the good. So I think Gotham could use somebody that, you know, kind of fights for the good. Were you a fan of the DC comic, or is it something that you had to sort of research when you got the job and said, oh, I know nothing about this guy? Yeah, I mean, I didn't read the Batman comics throughout my childhood. You know, I grew up actually being like a big Wolverine fan. I read the X-Men stuff. You know, I've always been a big fan of like just the comic book kind of movie world explosion, and I've certainly watched all the Batman films in all the different iterations. But I've really gotten into, but now of course when I got the job, I dove into some stuff. And the big one that a big part of this show is based on is this Gotham Central series, which was a DC series that came out in the early aughts, the early 2000s.
and it centers around the Gotham police force, and that's where people like Harvey Bullock come from, and Montoya and Allen. So the Gotham world is really a combination of this idea of an origin story, but also much of it taken from the Gotham Central universe. And so I'm actually finishing up that series right now, which has been really nice. It's just, it gets an idea for what the tone of the Gotham we're living in right now.
So tell everybody at home when they could watch you on Gotham.
You can find Gotham on Fox on Mondays, 8, 7 Central.